back and forth. I really don't think either of them.
Oh, we're in the game already. The guys have started without us, man.
It's Adelbart. Look at this.
Yeah. Can you see this now? Can you see that? Can you guys see the game? I think you can.
That's
All right.
his darkest mark here, Mike, with a flagellant here.
Yeah.
On Baguera's side, so strong, such great. Oh, an early stun on the Jest here, locking down his ability to buff that finale, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. So Baguera here is not going. I mean, he already had used the ballad before, so to say, he locked down Jester for the full 10 in the second round, right? So this is kind of important, honestly, that this character is not going to be able to act at all. Like, he's just going to miss 2 Jester 10s now, basically.
You know what, though? Maybe a little bit preemptive, because this Jester right now relies on the DOTs from Flagellant and Houndmaster. This Houndmaster being stunned here, so impactful right now. The only DOTs coming out from Baguera's side of this Flagellant's Reign of Sorrows here, and the Festering Vapors. Getting a big crit there, though. We've got 3 blights here. Oh, resist on the Abomination, the only crit there. Really unfortunate to see here from Baguera. But again, with 2 stunned characters in the middle, Mike, I'm not sure he's going to be able to leverage these early turns into a DOT advantage.
Yeah, indeed. Well, those double stuns are a very big leverage, right? So there's also a mark on this Jester, which will probably be capitalized on right away. That might be just a 0 HP Jester coming into 10-2. I feel this just has to be it. Like, this always works like that.
Yo.
It isn't. It leaves the Jester on like 3 HP. It's very fortunate, only because this means Baguera just gets to save this character. He would have lost the Jester from the get-go otherwise.
I mean, this is a bit of a weakness in the Darkest Smart Comp, is it not? The only DOTs you have available to you are the Caltrops and the Beast Pile. And DOTs really is so important in situations like this.
Yeah. Right, we see a lot of DOTs coming through, honestly, from Baguera, but it's just the question of like how quickly Adelbart is going to be able to take over this composition, right? Because he's just going to get another. And kind of, you just have to wonder if this is the right call in this at this point. I mean,
he's just doing it for the damage, Mike.
Yeah, this just is dead. This just is dead. Like, there's no way you can save this. But, you know, you lose a single 10, then obviously, like, this Arbor is probably more valuable of a damage dealer than the Abomination, so you're just going to wait for the turn, do the right thing. He's going to get the clean execution here. Removing the Jester, removing the Finale threat is quite huge, especially this character didn't get to use a single ability other than the Ballad throughout the fight. 78% hit chance he gets this Devlo clean.
Mike, whilst that is such a clean, powerful death player, Papa Baguera has very resilient members left on his team. And look at that DOT damage ticking down on the back row specifically of Adelbart here. That is ridiculous. Both of these characters by turn 4 will be on death's door here. These front 2 though, Resistant, the Crusade, the Bleed, the Abomination to Blight, not landing either of them really. Really unfortunate for him here.
He's stun resisted as well, very unfortunate really.
Especially with that stun trinket, Mike.
Yeah. He goes for a. This might be a 0 HP on the Houndmaster as well. This kind of, you have to kind of take this into account. It isn't, again, 2 HP left. This feels like super unfortunate situation for Adelbart, honestly, because this is such a fast-paced game that those little unfortunate hits there, twice being left on very low HP, those characters will probably be able to just survive and outlast this game.
These characters aren't marked, are they? These characters aren't marked. The Jester was, but this Houndmaster not. So really,
stun. There's got to, again resisted.
Wow,
that's so unfortunate for Adelbart, honestly, because it
these
just
conflicts are painful. But look again, this snuff. You're taking snuff on an Abomination. I think the only reason you take that is to not be completely locked down by stuns. But here, choosing a wrong team to queue into, Baguera not running any stuns apart from that Blackjack.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be probably like a Zealous Accusation into a kill anyway, because there is nothing you can do to save this really. He goes for damage here. Maybe this could have been like a little damage onto the Flag as well.
Enough, I think that single target damage onto the Houndmaster, not only does it push him down to death, it also gives him a stun. The only thing he can do now is accept that character, take the stun early, lose tempo, get the healing. Really difficult positions here.
Yeah, but honestly, like, Adelbart is very low on HP across the board. He's going to have 0 HP on the, on the BH, on the Arbalest, and on the Abomination here. And those 2 characters by Baguera are extremely healthy. This Flagellant can still probably carry the torch and perhaps just be able to, they might still be able to pull it off.
All it takes is a double death blow with Reign of Sorrows. I believe if you're Adelbart right now, we've seen it play so different. Yeah, here we go. Look at that. He's playing so defensively. Oh no, look at this actually. He is going back and forth between all of these abilities, Michael. I'm not sure what to do. Obviously, he goes back on the counter, clearing the bleed there. Such a bad decision for me and you. You've even said I dislike this defensive playstyle. It's going to bite him back, I think, because he's got Blight on him as well.
I have to tell you something, man. I don't feel this is a bad decision to heal, but I would always heal the Arbalest, because she is what is going to allow Adelbart to consistently stay in this game. Like, losing this BH, not a big deal at this point, but losing the Arbalest, who is like one of the most powerful healers against what Baguera has here, is just going to be so big. Like, obviously, keeping the Arbalest alive this time around, he lost her before for this.
Now these blights are stacking up to such an extent, Mike, that the Arbalest heal will not be able to do enough to counter it, even when they clear the. Look at him now. He's pivoting. Oh. Against the 70% bleed resist Crusade, he finally lands it there. Yeah. That is a really heavy. I've been 18 damage with the punish there.
I mean, you can have a full lockdown though right now. You can just pull the Antiquarian forward, then follow this up with double stuns from the Crusader and the Abomination, get free reign of this game then, and this Antiquarian can be stunned indefinitely from here. So this blight will eventually dissipate, so if Adelbart is just going to consistently keep this Antiquarian stunned, I think he should be quite safe to keep playing this game. Obviously, this Crusader, again, quite able, I feel, to just keep stunning the Flagellant as well. So this looks quite okay, honestly. So see, the stun comes through.
Actually playing offensively, or isn't it, Mike? Choosing to stun instead of Absolution there.
Yeah, this is the only correct call, though. Like, I have to feel like with experience comes knowledge, and right now Adelbart just knows his shit. And he's doing all the right moves right now. He is going to probably stun this Flagellant as well. Maybe not the most likely thing in the world to happen, but I feel like you just have to take this one. Just because okay, he plays this save. I hate this. I don't know why. He has to be playing offensively, because like, he might lose one of those characters at best, like at worst right now. And if he had been able to stun this, see, this is not like, okay, that's fine still, but I just don't really understand.
Really quickly, Mike. So Adelbart has lost the stress game. He's also lost the DOT game. While Baguera has two characters left. One of them is a Flagellant, one of them is Antiquarian. Both very solid characters with incredibly strong sustain here. If they just wait for these DOTs, these bleeds and blights to take out on all of the characters here, they can easily take it home. Even with an Antiquarian quad kill with the Festering Vapors, that Rain of Sorrows, the double death blow chance, Baguera has every single chance to win this game. Adelbart needs to play aggressively, Mike.
Yeah, he has to go for this Antiquarian right away. Like, he just has to go for a stun here, potentially land this. Quite likely to happen, or it's like 40% not to work. A very decent shot at that, and he just has to follow this up with a lot more damage. You cannot be healing this. There is just no way in hell you can out-heal this DOT. Yeah. He gets the stun potentially, or resist it, but this probably might be enough damage, so we just have to pray.
I'd say you stun the wrong person here.
No, he has, because he wants to lock her down before she gets to, escape his reach. So he wants to just do damage to this Antiquarian. I feel he just wants to kill her as soon as possible, so he probably will activate the Arbalest. See, he goes for that one as well. Oh man, why do you do this? He could have just taken the kill.
How often is this guy healing? We all hate to see it. I think it's somewhat of a... You're not going to Caltrops here, are you? Well, he's going to throw a finish in there. Look at that dodge. Insult to injury for Adelbart. I think Baguera is going to take such a long victory of this, maybe in turn 11, turn 12. He stresses. I'm building up too heavily right now, but this is not a stress team. This is incidental stress. Here we go, look at that.
Devil doesn't. Oh, this BH was still safe then. This is okay then. But it's like, you have to feel that this was like, this could have been over already for Baguera if Adelbart just played this aggressively. I mean,
how often would this team not go aggressive though? These mark teams get some early kills and then completely peter out. I believe it's because Bounty Hunter can't pull them in. There's no mark available here. What an incredible decision not to take that single target mark here. I believe in this tournament format you should have taken that. You should have read your opponent a bit more. Adelbart here had every advantage coming into this game. In the early there we go. Look at that death blow with the Renaissance. Just as we said, Mike.
This is just like, he just lost all the momentum he had by trying to play safe, which he couldn't do. There's no way you can out-heal the dots. You just have to go in, you have to hope you get those crits, you have to hope you get those kills as soon as humanly possible, because right now Adelbart just went from a winning game to an absolute loss. He's getting shattered right now.
It's unbelievable to see these backs and forths again, and it's just because... look at that again!
You can't be healing this, you can't! You literally can't.
You've got 2 stuns against 2 characters. Whilst the Flagellant has 55% base stun resist, you need to take him out, don't you? Your stress is playing. You're going to act out. Sometimes you're not going to be able to heal yourself. You're going to stun a corpse, Mike. Come on, Adelbart. If you want to stay in this tournament, you need to change your strategy, right? You are here on a wing and a prayer right now. You cannot stay so dogmatically to the exact same strategy, Mike. I said earlier, it's so easy to read, and Baguera right now has rated him like an open book.
I mean, this passive playstyle brought Adelbart here, right? So he kind of managed to chop his way through with this slow and steady play. He made it through the qualifiers. He had quite a decent game against Mangle as well. So maybe this is just how he plays this. Maybe you know, if you statistically win more than you lose with a single playstyle, you probably just keep doing your thing. And this is what we see from Adelbart on the He just is doing this because it must have been working for him quite a lot. So Baguera here, 0 HP on this anti-quarter, but this could have happened like such a long time ago at the same time. It's like 2 turns later it should have been.
It was like turn 77, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Such a long game.
He heals. Why do you heal?
Getting a crit
go for the death blow. Yeah, I was like, I mean, this is just his approach to the game, I guess. He just is going to be playing this safe because he knows this works for him. Specifically, but this is the anti-corn that is just going to escape his grasp right now.
20% chance and he lands it.
Yeah. I mean, he is going to be able to just keep harassing this anti-corn with Bow Blast still and with those Zealous accusations. Protect me, I don't think this is the correct move either, so we see like a lot of high pressure moments for those
play and his Zealous accusation, he can easily go through that with either of his AoE abilities, Mike.
I mean, this Rake might as well just come through as well, right? That's another
thing.
So maybe Gravo actually just managed to weather the storm. We didn't believe this was possible. I feel he might have just weathered the storm here.
This is the issue when you are down to such that is a great resist here. When you are down to such dire straits, every single turn you take is more important than every turn from 1 through 5. If Baguera loses this right now, he's in a world of hurt. If he did just play aggressively, maybe even use something else, maybe a take cover, he would have survived better.
Oh, this is death blow. Yeah, take cover would have increased his death blow resistance. And now the Flagellant, like 1v3, potentially still, you know, manageable for Baguera, but you have to feel that this Crusader is just gonna keep healing. You have 2 active healers against a single damage dealer. If you do like your 10, this is not the time to play safe. This is actually time to play safe for Gravo, because he can only lose this right now. If he plays this slow and steady right here, like he just has 0 ways of losing those characters, you know, barring the act outs on his characters, obviously. But right now it feels like Gravo's game's to lose once again. What a swingy matchup!
I mean, Mike, to be honest, every single one of these games has been so swingy, has it not? Baguera here, if there were no corpses present, he could maybe try to get a double kill with that Rhinoceros, but right now he is forced to a single target kill every single time here. And faced with 3 characters, all of whom could, well, can't heal if you pass right, can you? Still though, not quite a death story yet. I'm not sure what it's going to do. He can choose to pick him at a later date, perhaps heal himself with that Crusader's ability if there is no act out. Right now, Adelbart, that big crit that's really going to push him a little bit more deeply out of death's door. Adelbart here would need an awful lot of bad RNG to lose, Mike.
Yeah, no, it's like, I feel like he actually had this plan. That's surprising. We were wrong, sis. You have to feel like he just did this because he knew this was going to work at some level.
Well, I think we say that, Mike, but to a certain degree, we can also blame Papa Baguera's misplaced there. I think both of these characters are people who have played very dogmatically to their own strategy, almost like someone in an anime, you know, some kind of titular character in an anime. But unfortunately, right now, it looks like Adelbart's defensive strategy has taken over Baguera's kind of reflexive back and forth strategy. Not quite sure what he's doing here. And to be honest, I think the anime boy Adelbart here, sticking to his healing, want to keep everyone alive, you know, big love to everybody, we kill it. Baguera here needs to stop, I think, being so flexible, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, speaking in the words of our senpai Mizukun, this is fucking beautiful stuff from Adelbart, seriously.
Thank you for swearing, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah, like seriously, look at this. He's playing this extraordinary wild strategy. Like, normally you never see the wins when you play slow and safe. And right now, Adelbart is just proving us all wrong. He's showing us, okay, guys, you can make it through. Obviously, there are some mistakes on my opponent's side, but still, I managed to persevere. I made it work, and Baguera knows it. This is game over.
And no, look at that surrender. These surrenders, Mike. Every time I see someone surrender, I believe Baguera has surrendered twice. The only person ever to surrender in this tournament, and he has done it twice. Mike, if I surrendered in the Mizukun tournament, I would have lost 2 games, I think. I wouldn't be here where I am standing right now, hopefully looking to be the repeat champion. But these guys right now, I think, in a bracket of killers, right? Sbrh and Mangle both facing them. We need a major upset right now for either of these players to take it home, Mike.
Yeah. I mean, both of them, like, they are on knife's edge right now. They have to win their game. They have to win the series in order to remain alive in the tournament, because if Baguera loses this one, he's gonna be 0-2, and this means that he's basically almost guaranteed not to be able to make it through, unless by some sort of miracle. I mean, we end up with Mangle being free to... Like, this is possible, like, Mangle can go 3-0 still, and this will be 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 for everybody then. It's possible...
This is an absolutely difficult matchup for these guys. I mean... We have seen, I think, the clash of the titans in this bracket, Mangle versus Sbrh. Sbrh taking the first ever loss. Right now, we are seeing 2 plucky underdogs fighting for these physical rewards, Mike. Do you seriously think, if you are a betting man, do either of these guys have what it takes to take out Sbrh or Mangle?
Yeah, that's the big question. I mean, we saw Sbrh drop a game. I feel like Mangle has been playing exactly the best game of his life today as well, so... Maybe, just maybe there is a way. I'm not sure. So we just are waiting for Adelbart to get started.
We're coming into the start of the game now, Mike. Look at this.
We are going into the game indeed. And I'm just going to change the score real quick and we'll just maximize this and we'll get going with the series. So Adelbart 1-0 right now. One singular game divides him from being able to just eliminate Baguera from the tournament, you have to feel.
Seeing a coin here for Baguera, perhaps not so impactful as it would have been for his opponent here. His opponent having the ability to stun with 2 characters, Abomination Manacles, and the Houndmaster's Backjack Baguera with the ability to cleanse all of them with the Arbalest, but only 1 offensive stun with this Crusader. Choosing to riposte very early, thank the Lord. We are seeing people here really knowing that if they get any attack from these Houndmasters, this Beast Bar, this Antiquarian's Festering Vapors, you can attack right back. This has warped the gameplay for so many people before, and against someone so defensive as Adelbart right now, you have to understand he's probably going to heal. That great dodge and the stun. Look at that tempo change.
Yeah, you might see a lot of regen dropping actually for Adelbart. I feel like this Antiquarian is just playing in his hand. Like, this is an aggressive comp by Baguera. This is basically the kind of similar, remarkably similar to the Sbrh composition with this, you know, passive, slow play style, you know, steady but controlled, a lot of stress, a lot of damage, kind of a balanced composition, which is kind of uncommon, honestly. On the other hand, like, the Adelbart has to balance out those riposts somehow, so he might just have to start first of all bellowing his opponents, which is kind of a good strategy, honestly, against this, because this means that riposts...
Listen, if you start bellowing, then you are playing into that, to the cleansing flare, or whatever it's called from the Arbalest.
Illuminating flare, yeah, that's true, but...
You don't want to give that too much value, do you?
That's true, but if you just kind of play this slow, like you drop a single bellow every 2 10s, maybe, you do not bait those out too soon. Obviously, I feel like Baguera might just dispel all those by the flare right away, because this is a stun and a bellow, which we can just negate with a single move. So maybe this is kind of preemptive. We could have waited a single 10, just waited perhaps for the Arbalest to take her move before he did what he did. But still,
transform, stand it on the Highwayman instead of the Selling Crusader, knocking the Highwayman back into fourth. Possibly here, perfect for Adelbart, allowing him to Beast Spiral on this repeat turn and not get riposted. But on Baguera's side, he can use that Duelist Advance, reapply the riposte, put him into third, allow him to be absolutely in control here of riposting that Abomination. Baguera, you love to see someone taking their time a little bit, thinking. Again, choosing to snipe shot, only 9 damage there. Only 9 damage, really weird.
Yeah,
You'd want to clear that, wouldn't you?
Like, I feel like there are several different weird things happening right now. First of all, you cleared this with the flare. This means there is no way in hell this Antiquarian is going to go for Festering Vapors, because then she gets posted twice. Probably drops to death's door even. Like, that's kind of likely, seeing how many crits we've seen so far. So honestly, this turn by Baguera is kind of odd.
So punishing for Adelbart, this double stun, no Arbalestic clearer.
Yeah, that's true.
So being double stunned against one stunned character, Mike, this is unfathomable. The Adelbart has made a turn order mistake.
I mean, right now, Baguera as well, like, he can just remove the stun and double stacks of Bellow. I feel this is the right time to do this as well, so he will probably just drop the flare. He is a competent all-time player, and he just does the flare indeed. And right now he denies the double stacks of Bellow on top of the stun as well, which is very important.
I wonder if Adelbart played into that. I said before, the Adelbart is bellowed. I would have even cleared it before the... You know what I mean? If you play into that Bellow, you really get more advantage out of it from Adelbart. I don't think that's the right play. Now you're double stunned, facing down an absolutely clear team from Papa Baguera here. He's going to take you down. Even if you do not attack that apostate character, he is such a threat for the Houndmaster's Harry, and if the Antiquarian's Festering Vapors, putting a command down here, increasing his accuracy with his abilities. Never going to miss now, I believe. Never going to miss, Mike.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you, man, on this. This feels like a very poor situation for Adelbart, so Baguera is in the driver's seat in this game. You have to, however, realize that there is a lot of stress across the board for him, so maybe not such a dire spot, honestly, because there is so much stress. Look at this. I feel like turn 3 will see the first afflictions come through, which is kind of remarkably big, honestly. For
turn 2 as well, for this amount of stress. I mean, for a composition that does both DOT damage, and we've seen him kind of play aggressively with this attack. Oh, that's a big resistance.
Yeah, very important one, yeah, indeed.
So this stress easily stacking up. Turn 4, we're going to see maybe 3 afflictions. We're going to see these act-outs really happen. Papa Baguera in such a tenuous spot, Mike.
Indeed.
You must agree.
I mean, you have to feel that this Antiquarian might just start dropping the regens right now, because this is the moment where Baguera hasn't really accomplished much outside of doing damage to this Houndmaster, can heal himself quite easily. So if Adelbart just slows down now, starts dropping the regens, and using those lick wounds as well, I feel like he might just be able to take over that. Because honestly, there's so much stress there.
Such an underrated ability, these lick wounds. You stack them up 2 times, doing so much healing over time, especially stacked up with the Antiquarians as well.
He might just get some control, maybe stunning the Crusader here. This will just give him a decent edge in this fight. Obviously, this might just force the flare out as well, so maybe not the best move in the world. Potentially just
look at this double repulse against Beastspire there. Completely unable to use Beastspire. He's going to get smacked in the face twice by Home and Man Arms.
Yeah.
They forced into that Manacles there.
It's not bad though. Like, you get some sort of a lead in the game every single time you do this, because as we've already said, like, you are playing, if you're Baguera, you are playing into a stress composition. This is not like, you know, Winnie the Pooh and friends. These guys are there to just hedge you really hard. And this looks like Adelbart just being able to slowly but steadily eke out a decent position.
That's a big crit. Well. That is a big
very
crit.
Important one, yeah.
From Papa Baguera's team here, the only character that can maybe bite through that is the Arbalest. And to be honest, he's not marked here for this Houndmaster. Might not quite do it. We might see this take even 3 times of Death Storm just by the self-healing. What do you want to see? I want to see more damage, Mike, don't you?
I do want to. I want to see the Rejuvenating Vapors. I feel like this is the right call. He just gets the healing now. He stabilizes himself. He has the Bellows. He has the stun. There is so much happening for Baguera that he has to be clearing consistently. But I feel like this is just this is an excellent position for Adelbart. Again, like, this guy surprises, but he is playing the slow controlled style, and he makes this kind of maybe decision that seems surprising to us, but he's doing them he's playing this game super well overall. But
I mean, right now, this riposte-heavy team, it is paying dividends, bingo, for this Adelbart team right now. I mean, to be honest, he's faced his perfect matchup, right? This is the perfect matchup. He can play defensively and take it home, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see also this Abomination able to transform again this turn, so he'll get this bonus 128 stress across the board. This PBS doing just 18 on crit isn't that big, by the way. So I feel like Adelbart is just going to stabilize here. He's just going to carry on and just slowly but steadily destroy Baguera's setup here. He doesn't go for regen though. He goes for some more stress. He breaks his MAA.
Single target is so impactful.
Yeah.
Also decreases the accuracy here of that riposte. Fearful, high chance to pass here. If he does pass, it might not be so impactful because he does still have the riposte active. but still, you know, you never want to see a Bo3, Mike.
No. I mean, the problem with Baguera is right now he has to probably be using those flares. He's wasting a lot of turns against Stress because Stress is just, you know, slowly but steadily eating him apart. And what Baguera is doing, he has to use the flare, he has to use the command to really suboptimal moves because you want to be killing people with those guys. You do not want to be petting, but this is no fucking petting.
Adelbart's team, he's got no DOTs in him, he's full of rejuvenations. Baguera's team right now, on the face of it, is a heavy physical damage team. The Arrow, the Highwayman's riposte, that command from the Man-Arms, coupled with Man-Arms riposte right now. The Adelbart playing perfectly into it. You know, I can play defensive, I can last until turn 12 and I still win here. Baguera, I think, is bamboozled beyond belief, flummoxed to such a foundational degree.
Yeah, flummoxed to oblivion, my man. That's what I would say here. Seriously, this is such a back and forth, but honestly, I feel like if Sbrh had been in Baguera's shoes, he would have played this a bit better. Like, you have to feel like the Sbrh knows when to pivot, knows when to start.
I mean, Sbrh is the guy in and his own right. I think we have sung his praises far enough, Mike. I must say that.
Yeah, Sbrh is like a god walking the earth.
70%, even with double stun trinkets on the Crusade here. That's 70 versus 150. Lucky assist here from Adelbart.
A crit comes through as well. That's so much pressure as well on top of everything else.
Push him down to death still with the Blight, Mike. I think.
And the stress also just keeps mounting and mounting and mounting for Baguera. It's just looking quite dire, honestly.
I mean, honestly, Mike, this has been a remarkable game, but I think Baguera here, whilst he does have quite healthy characters in and of his backline here, Adelbart has managed to control every single amount of explosive damage dealt him. That's only 50. Look, push him down to death, so you activate that, you heal right back out of it. This is why Adelbart's Antiquarian is so strong against teams without a DOT. Maybe if we saw Baguera here pivot, change trinkets, but we need to riposte bleed trinkets on both the Man-Arms and the Highwayman even here. These very slow bleeds would have actually done so much damage over this course event. It's going to 10-5, 10-6 right now. I mean, Mike, you have to think Baguera maybe threw it away and playing so quickly, not changing his trinkets and skills.
By the way, this series has been online for like 15 minutes total, maybe 20, so probably one of the fastest, definitely the fastest series of the day. We had like an hour 20 series as well. There were 20-30 hour games, so 20-30 minute games today. This is kind of the staple for us. And right now, we have this very, very fast-paced game by Baguera, and Baguera is just kind of forcing the issue. He's just not taking his time to think, and it feels like he's just out of the tournament, man. Like,
well, I mean, we've seen Baguera before. We've seen Baguera before play to the same pace as Sbrh, get completely unmatched. Right now, Adelbart. I mean, if you're Adelbart, you know what you're doing. You're healing every single time. You're playing defensively every single time. If you rely on that more often than not, against someone like Baguera who's not quite sure what he's doing, pivoting strategies, playing half and half, doesn't really matter what you do, as long as you do that with all of your heart, and you will probably win, Mike.
I mean, this is the group of death. Look at those people. Adelbart bringing this exceptional style to the game. Sbrh, same deal. Mangle, lethal on the flagellant. Man, this is such an exciting game to cast. Baguera kind of feels like he might be the weakest player on the board, which doesn't make him like a bad player by no means. He just doesn't have the stylistic advantage those other competitors in the group have brought to the table.
I mean, and you say this stylistic advantage. Look at Adelbart, like playing a violin, changing your fingering here, guard dogging the Man-at-Arms instead of the Abomination here. Some would say you are losing out to that turn economy, losing that guard turn on the Abomination. But every single time you do that, not only are you defending your weakest character right now, but also gaining dodge on your Man-at-Arms, trying to counteract the RNG that Baguera could deal to you. Every single time in this game when you are in a winning position, you see that flash powder boom, pushing him so close to death's door at 187. That tiny bit of stress he's got on him, one act out, boom, he's gone. 4 inflicted characters, Mike. If you are Baguera, you are so terrified right now. I would say you are 5%, that dodge, you are 5% chance to win, Mike, aren't you?
That's over. No, I would not say 5%. This is just absolutely over. Like, this is as over as the game gets, really. I mean, there's like so little, such a little possibility for Baguera to claw his way back into this one. I feel like he just dropped the ball at some point early into the game, and right now it's just, as Cetra is saying on Steam, because you can see this Cetra, he's doing awesome. Adelbart is one of a kind. Seriously, this guy's such a huge value to the community, right?
He has a name like a musician, like Adelbart. I'm pretty sure I've heard like Da Vinci, things like that. Mozart, Adelbart, the new guy coming. His instrument is the Butcher Circus, Mike.
Yeah.
He's playing Baguera like a gosh darn fiddle, Mike.
Yeah, and this is just, I'm just so impressed. Again, like we see him, like if he is able to take over a game, he just dominates in such a ridiculous fashion that it has just not ever been witnessed before.
The ability of his concerto to mix from this early dun 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 heal to I am attacking you now, bam, straight out Baguera. Exactly when he needs to attack Baguera, he changes the tempo of his concerto. His bass starts playing that aggressive damage. He really takes Baguera.
He surrenders.
The third surrender from Baguera, Mike. So preemptive, so preemptive. He is so tilted, Mike.
Yeah, and Adelbart takes a decisive 2-0 here. And this was such a glorious game to watch, honestly. He left zero avenues for Baguera into this game. And you know, we'll see Adelbart versus Sbrh right now. This might be the decisive game of the tournament, honestly, for us, because we might just...
I mean, both of these dark horses, Mike, can you believe it? Both of these guys who none of us at the beginning of the tournament had much knowledge about, facing each other right now. We are seeing someone who I believe is sticking dogmatically to logic, what he thinks will get him the win more often than not. But Adelbart right now is playing like a musician. He's flowing with the music. He's healing when he wants to heal, taking his time, biding his time. And when that chorus hits, he is ready to unleash havoc upon his opponent. His discordant fugue, I believe, will knock Sbrh so far out of kilter here that we might see Sbrh here really start to bleed. If a god bleeds, we can kill it, right? Sbrh, his first losses to Mangle Cadaver, has got to shake him, Mike.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to Eric. I had like a very weird message from Mangle, honestly, which I'm just going to kind of drop to you as well, but I'm not really sure what to do with this, because Mangle just kind of told me something kind of odd, frankly, so I'm just going to just kind of...
To be honest, Mike, Mangle fucking says everything odd, doesn't he?
No, he had something kind of... we'll just see this anyway. So it's going to be Baguera. Yeah, we can...
I don't disagree with that, but I think I would not mind having an extra game where I think these guys could even replay, to be honest. So I think, to be honest, both of them played very, very well.
So, I mean, okay, we have a situation as well, because Baguera is asking for a game against Mangle now because he's running out of time, which is reasonable. If this is fine by Adelbart and Eric...
One more game. How about one more game?
So we can do this afterwards, man. We have to just get the actual tournament resolved first, okay?
Absolutely.
So, can we do Mangle versus Baguera now then? And is it okay by Adelbart? So I'm just going to ask the players, and I'm just going to see if this is possible for both Eric and Adelbart. So we'll just see whether this is indeed possible for those guys. If it is, then we'll just have I mean.
Adelbart just said to me, go ahead, Mangle and Baguera, Mikefield. Yeah. I think right now what everyone would like to see is another game. So if we try and get something set up as quickly as possible.
Yeah, so Baguera has to go soon. So let's just get set up then. Mangle, can you go stream?
So, Mikefield, what are we seeing right now? Are we seeing a Mangled versus who fight?
So it is going to be potentially Mangle versus Baguera coming into this one. So the guys are setting up right now, and Mangle will be streaming for us again. So it's going to be perfect, top-notch quality, guys. And we will just go into Mangle's view right now. I'm just going to set up all the frames so that we get the clear view of what is happening here. So obviously Mangle setting up on the other side of the screen there. And
just to take a really quick second here to say that Mangle actually wanted to give all of those games to Sbrh. We are seeing this absolute Warriors coder. This is a guy, even when he wins, wanted to fall on his sword because he believed he got lucky. This is a guy who every single person here needs to congratulate with every single ounce of their spirit. This is a guy who, I mean, literally could have just thrown away physical rewards, all because he believes in the integrity of Darkest Dungeon. Truly remarkable feat, Mike. Mangle Kadabe needs so much respect, don't you agree?
Yeah, he's so honorable, isn't he? And yeah, I'm out of words, really, because he suggested like he wants to give up a spot and he wants to give up like the potential physical rewards in the tournament just because he got kind of slightly lucky in those fights. But honestly, I felt like he was just doing his own work. Like he just
anyway, he would have been second place anyway, Mike.
I mean, we don't know this yet, so we might just kind of wait for the tournament to resolve and then we'll just kind of make a judgment, right? And we'll just obviously take into consideration what Mangle is saying as well.
Would you like me to
honestly, actually, there's a problem because Sbrh is also saying he cannot wait much longer because.
What about Sbrh versus Mangle right now? How about we have one more game to kind of decide their matchup? Whoever wins that game is kind of considered the winner of that.
Hold on, because Sbrh is telling me he cannot actually wait. He has to play right now as well.
Yeah, so he plays right now.
But this is like Mangle versus Baguera because Baguera asked for the switch.
I'm so confused. You do your job so well.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be rather fast series as well. So I'm kind of confused as to what's happening here, because it's kind of normal timing for us.
I think we can always have maybe a bonus pre-stream at an
we can do it tomorrow then. Yeah, if this is
this
is okay, we can just do like kind of move this game for tomorrow.